Alright guys, so today we're going to check out the brand new Monster Persona ANC headphones. Now this pair does come in retailing at 150 bucks, but right now on Amazon they're actually on sale and they have a coupon, and it actually brings the price all the way down to 115 bucks. But I do want to start this video with saying, while I've been testing these, the one thing that's just been going through my head is what happened to the company Monster. Now, if you guys have been listening to headphones or using audio products for a while, you'll know that Monster used to be known for not only having overly expensive cables and things like that, but they're the same company that's responsible for the original Beats by Dre. Obviously, from an audiophile perspective, Monster's never been one of those companies that compete with brands like Sennheiser or Beyerdynamic or Audio-Technica or anything like that, but they were responsible for releasing some very popular pairs of headphones. I remember the original Beats by Dre. I picked up that pair, and that was one of the first pairs that got me interested in headphones in general. And some of their other ones like the Inspiration, the DNA Pros, and even the incredible Impulse, you know, they had a decent lineup of headphones. But I will say it's been a long time since then. They've sold off different things within the company, but I was still curious to check out the Persona ANCs because it's actually a decent looking headphone. It has active noise canceling, and so I was curious how well these would stack up, especially given the $115 price tag. But we're going to go ahead and check out some of the features, what you get inside the box, and see if it's actually worth the price. So I want to start with this. If you're looking for a pair on active noise canceling alone, this is not going to be that pair. I don't know why these are labeled as active noise canceling. Once I switch it on from the headphones, I can't hear a difference at all when it comes to blocking out things around me. I mean, it sounds exactly the same. I do notice with the audio, it does boost the bass a little bit. I mean, that's what most active noise canceling headphones do when you turn on the noise canceling, so I will give it that, but that's not really a feature. It's supposed to cancel out noise, and these don't really do that at all. Now, as far as the design and the build quality of them, they do resemble Sony's WH-1000XM4s quite a bit. It's a very comfortable pair of headphones, so I will give it that. I think the ear pads on here are very soft. They use a protein leather mixed with memory foam, so it's very soft, it's very lightweight. I do wish that it had a little bit more padding on the headband because it uses that silicone rubber type material, and even with mashing it, I mean, you don't really feel that there's any kind of padding in here at all. Now, as far as being able to adjust these, you just kind of slide them down like any other pair of headphones, but I noticed that they don't stay in place very easily. So even after you slide them out to adjust them where you need to fit on your head, as soon as you try to bring it up to your head, at times it would just kind of slide back into place. So it almost felt like you just kind of had to put them on your head and then pull the ear cups down. So I don't like that because I like to just keep my headphones adjusted where I'm going to use them at all times. Now, as far as being able to store these, they do fold inward and they also lay flat. So it's easy to just kind of store these away. And inside the box, they do include a hard case, so that is going to protect them. But I'm not a huge fan of the design of the hard case either, because most noise canceling headphones come with a flat case so that it's not taking up a lot of space in your bag, where Monster decided to design this really tall type case where you have to have them stored, you know, completely folded down instead of being able to just lay them flat, which they're capable of. So this case is going to take up a little more space in your bag. Now, moving back over to the headphones themselves, again, the overall build quality is very plastic. It doesn't feel cheap. I do like the look of these. It's very subtle. There's not a whole lot of bright, shiny branding other than the gold part that you can see right near the top of the headband. As far as your controls, they're actually using button controls, which are all located on the right-hand side, and they do give you control over everything. So you have your power button. You also have your volume button, which doubles as your button to be able to skip your tracks forward and go backwards. You have your headphone jack if you want to use these wired. And then they have your active noise canceling button, which again, I honestly say there's no need in hitting this button at all. Now, inside the box, other than the hard case they've also included an airline adapter for anybody that still uses those. They also have included a 3.5mm headphone cable if you want to use these wired. and then they've included a USB-C cable. And speaking of the charging cable, the battery life is actually pretty decent. Overall, you're going to get around 30 hours of use, and if you do happen to pick them up and they're dead, it does have a fast charge feature where a 10-minute charge will get you 5 hours of use. Now, as far as the microphones on here, for you guys that like to use your headphones for phone calls, this is an area where I think they did a pretty decent job. I don't think many people are going to have complaints during phone calls, but you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
All right, guys, so here is a mic test using the Persona ANCs. Like I said, I think overall these do a really good job of picking up my voice, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. The sound of these is pretty much what surprised me the most, because I kind of went into this expecting a sound signature similar to some of their headphones in the past, which in my experience usually means there's a bass heavy sound, a pretty dynamic sound overall, but again, a lot of focus on the low end. And to be honest, this pair is quite the opposite. It's very dull, it's very boring. It's not a flat sounding headphone as far as like a reference style headphone. It's just flat as in has no life to it at all. When it comes to the bass, you can tell that there's a slight kick to it, but it just feels like it's lacking, and that's pretty much with any genre that I tried them on. And the same thing with the mids and the highs. It just felt like these lacked a lot of detail, especially when it came to vocalists. No matter if it was male or female vocalists, it was very veiled. It kind of sounded like they were singing behind a curtain. So it always felt like there was something between you and the artist singing. And so that also dulled down a lot of the sound of instruments. It just felt like it was lacking the detail and a lot of the clarity that I'm used to with other headphones. And I was very surprised by this because I was at least expecting either boomy bass or bright treble, and it felt like I didn't get either with this pair of headphones. So that was very disappointing. Now, when it comes to the soundstage and the sound imaging, this is not a very open sounding pair of headphones either. I didn't really have any issue telling where instruments were coming from, but it just felt like everything was in this very small bubble. So it didn't feel like there was a lot of space between things. So my overall thoughts on these, even at the sale price of $115, is I still don't recommend them because there are much better options in the market right now. I mean, you can pick up the Soundcore Life Q30s for $80. You can pick up the Razer Opus right now for $124. And then one of my pairs that I think are always sliding under the radar are the Panasonic HD605s. So there's just so many other pairs out there right now that makes it really hard to even recommend looking at the Monster Persona ANCs at all. But guys, that wraps up my video on these headphones. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.